Guys, ChaseWins.com coming to you for Monday, October the 5th, 2020. Here to kick off another week. We have a big recap to do. We have the entire Sunday card, as well as I'm going to recap Patrick's NASCAR card for Sunday because I am not going to have enough time to do a separate video for it. So I promised it would be a big Sunday, one of the biggest Sunday NFL cards I've released in recent years. And we delivered. So let's go ahead and do Patrick's NASCAR recap so everybody has that. It was the Talladega race, something that a lot of the NASCAR clients have been looking forward to. He ended up having quite a few head-to-head matchups. First one, Denny Hamlin over Kevin Harvick, laying $1.40. Nice winner there. Kyle Busch over William Byron. That one, we were laying $1.35 on Kyle Busch. That one did not come through. Denny Hamlin laying $1.30 over Chase Elliott. That one was a winner. And then Kurt Busch over Clint Bowyer. Kurt Busch laying $1.30. Nice winner there. So a nice winning day on the head-to-heads. And then to cap everything off, had a race winner on Denny Hamlin to outright win the race at 9-1 odds. Plus $900, that cashed as well. So a big and very profitable NASCAR card, as he always does. You can get the remainder of the NASCAR season for a sloppy $100 bill. Go to ChaseWins.com, $100 gets you the remainder of the NASCAR season, which I think now there are 6 races to go. So instead of paying $50 every weekend to get the singular card, pay the $100, get the rest of them. And I will say this Talladega race was not an elimination race. There will be 4 drivers eliminated from the championship contention this coming week's race. So it's going to be an all-out brawl this coming week to go from 12 drivers down to 8 who are still in the points running for the championship. So do not miss out, and congratulations to Patrick and all of his NASCAR clients on another huge day and a plus 900 race winner. So now on to my card. Promised a big NFL Sunday. I promised a big card. We had 8 plays in total, 7 in the NFL and 1 in the NBA. NBA, we had the Lakers, and this card was released at 5 o'clock this morning, and it's still Sunday. It's technically Monday now because it's just after midnight, but this card was released at 5 a.m. I had the card pretty much all but done, and I got up at 4 a.m. to finalize a few things. That way it could be out as everybody was getting up. Sent out the email to everyone at 5:30 this morning telling them, here's all the games. Good luck, and congrats to everyone that jumped on using the coupon code that we gave out. So we went into this Sunday with, we'll get to NFL in a second. But early this morning, Lakers line, I think the Lakers were laying 9.5 with a total of 218 points. We took the over in that game. There were some really poor free throw shooting there late, or this game would have soared over the total. But either way, in the last seconds, they put it up to 219 points, so we cashed. Had we waited until after, I think it was about 11 a.m. when the line officially jumped to 219. So had we waited to put that game out, we would have pushed. Had we waited till just a couple hours before game time, and we may have not even gotten to that. I'm not sure what the line closed at, but I do know that about 6 hours after I released this game, the total had gone from 218 to 219. But we got it at 218, and it was close, but a win nonetheless. Now, let's talk about, so that puts us at a 1-0 day in the NBA, another finals game winner. And as I told you, go back and watch a video the other day, the Lakers would not sweep the Heat. The Heat would bag at least one win, and they did so tonight in pretty dominant fashion. It was a desperation game for them. So now we get into the NFL. 7 total plays. I can't remember the last time I've had an NFL card this big, but I told you all week how much I loved this NFL card. And so we had 7 plays, all premium plays. One of the plays that let's talk about the first loss. We have 1 loss on the day. That was it. And that was the LA Rams minus 13. Defensively, they played a great game. They really did, because New York actually started gaining some traction more than a couple of times in that game, and they kept them out of the end zone each time. They settled for 3 field goals in the game. So defensively, they played great. But the offensive team that we know LA is never once showed up in this game. Never once. They only scored 17 points. 17. I mean, for a team that in the McVay era has averaged 29 points a game, that's pretty sad. So, needless to say, they only won by 8. We had them at minus 13. We'll take that loss. That was the only loss of the day. We did have one push, and that was in the Sunday night football game, and it was the Eagles and the 49ers over 45. And as I was telling one of my clients, late in the first quarter, when those two back-to-back touchdowns were scored, one by each team, and San Francisco went for the 2-point conversion and converted it, I said, that could be the death of us right there. And he's like, well, you played the over. That doesn't make sense because that's just more points. I said, mark my words, that could be the death of us. And what was crazy is they didn't score. No team scored at all in the second quarter. No team scored at all for most of the third quarter. And then late, we get another touchdown late in the third. And then Philly goes on quite a little run. And then with 4 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, something like that, San Francisco scores a touchdown and puts us right at 45. And I wasn't watching the game at that point. I had walked off. I was getting ready to take a shower. And I said, they're going to go for 2 because they were down by 5 at that point. So they needed 2 points to get it within a field goal, or else they were going to be forced, if they stopped Philly, to have to go to the end zone. I did not want it. I didn't like it. I said, that's going to be the death of us. That will be the death of us right there. Another 2-point conversion, and they didn't get it. As I don't know, I was being really pessimistic about it. I didn't think they would get it. But had they kicked the field goal and just gone for the extra point and then still tried to stop them, because they would have still needed to go for the end zone, had Philly put one, because here's the thing, when Philly got the ball back after that, they were teetering on that field goal position right there. I really think they would have really pushed and gotten one. And you could see it in the coach's eyes that, because when I went back and turned that game on and watched how that unfolded, he really, really considered that field goal. And that's all we needed. If they'd have just put the field goal unit out there, it'd have gone over the total. But it didn't. They missed it. And then the 49ers came all the way back, took it down to the wire. Were in field goal position at that point. To pop one to the uprights, but of course they needed a touchdown to win the game. A field goal would have done nothing, and they didn't get it, so it landed right on 45. Some of my clients got the game at 44.5, quite a few of them actually. So for those people, congrats. You did not have a push, you had a win. For everybody else, you push, no harm, no foul. That is our second push of the NFL season. Then we get into the remainder of the games. We had the Buccaneers, 2 plays in the Buccaneers game. Over 42.5, blowout in there. And then the Buccaneers minus 6.5. Now, if you were on my premium list, you saw the investment notes where I knew the line was at 7, but I told all of my clients, as I always do when we land on a number like that, we will always buy a half point. Always. So we bought a half point in that game. I told everybody to, so hopefully everybody followed directions, and they won by exactly 7, but we were able to cash a ticket instead of push because of that right there. So 2 wins there on the over and the spread. Then we had the Ravens over 45. That was one that I actually wagered yesterday, and I was telling you in the free play video yesterday to read between the lines, so hopefully you played that over. If you played it last night when you first got the video, you probably took over 45.5. You still won. But at the time that I actually released the card, that line had dropped a half point. So we got it over 45, a winner there. Then we had the Ravens minus 13.5. That was what I gave you on the free play video yesterday. Another free play winner. So Should have won both of those free plays, but I know that at the time the card was released, I knew some books were sitting at 14, so I clearly stated in the notes on the card that if you were getting 14, buy it to 13 and a half, and they won by doing so. So we cashed another ticket by buying that point, by buying that half point. And then the final one of the day is the Bengals. They were laying a point, point and a half, something like that. It was smarter because it was only 125 or 125 on the money line. They blew the Jacksonville out of the water, especially late in the game. So we took a nice, easy win there. So that put us in total at 6-1-1 on the day. 5 NFL wins, 1 NFL loss, 1 NFL push, and an NBA win. A 6-1-1 Sunday. How can you beat that? So that puts us at 23-5-2 on the NFL season. Now, unlike a push in what you would consider a tie, I guess, if you were talking about a win record for a team, that tie would mean something. It would go against your winning percentage. Not in sports betting. That's the beauty of it. Pushes are no harm, no foul. They mean nothing. It's almost as if they never happened. So when you take those 2 pushes that we've had this season out of it, we've got 28 games remaining. 23 wins, 5 losses. That's 82% win rate, guys. 82%. Find another capper anywhere remotely in the same neighborhood as me. If you guys are not on the NFL season, you are out of your minds. Either get on the NFL season or get on the All Access Pass where you get the NFL season with it, and stop sitting on the sidelines and not making easy money. Now, on top of that, hopefully you also took my additional free play that I gave out on video yesterday. So I gave out the Ravens. So just read between the lines on the Ravens over, and I also told you to put some money on the Vikings plus the points, and they won outright as I said they should. They should have been favored for that game. That's the second week in a row we've taken the Vikings. Last week it was a premium play plus the points. This week, obviously, it was just a free play, but another one nonetheless. They won outright. This record right here, 23-5, does not count any of the free plays that I've given out that didn't make the card. There are 8 free plays that I have given out since week 1 that did not make the premium or top play card. 8. We are 7-1 on those plays, and every single one of them, other than one, have been a total or an underdog. And we're cashing them left and right. This is the first week where we did not have an underdog make the premium card, but I'm sure they'll be back next week. So congrats to everyone on a huge day. Congrats to everyone that also purchased the NASCAR card, or to the All Access clients who already get NASCAR included in their service. You guys make more money than you know what to do with in one lazy Sunday. Now, before I get on a free play, if you want the NASCAR season, go to chasewins.com, $100. NFL season's up there, All Access Pass, anything you want. You're new, you want to test this out, get a 7-day pass for $100, a 3-day pass for $50, whatever suits you. As everyone knew, or at least my clients knew, I don't know if I said this on video last week or not, but I did tell my clients. My wife's grandmother's been in pretty bad health for a while now, and just kind of been going downhill. So we knew that she didn't have a lot longer, and I know a lot of you that have been with me for a long time remember last year when my grandmother passed away, who I was extremely close with. You guys were there with me through that. We never missed a day, even on the day of her funeral, which was on a Saturday during college basketball season, and there was also football going on. We had an 8-1 day. I'll never forget that day. A day where I was a mess, to say the least. We had 2 top play winners in 2 different sports, and we went 8-1. So we never skipped a beat. Long story short, we didn't expect her to make it past last week, and she hung on. But on Friday, they said it's probably going to happen this weekend. She's pretty much shutting down. And they called hospice in, did all that. And then on Saturday, as I was at the office working, completing the card for the afternoon games in college football. I guess my wife was out shopping with her mother or something, and said that, and it's her grandmother, so it's her mom's mom. She said, I'm headed, to the grocery store to get some stuff because they just called my mom and said, you may want to get over here because we don't think she'll make it through the night. So I said, all right, well, I'm finishing up here. I'll come home if you want to go over there. And I get home about 10 minutes before she does. I'm sitting in my office working. She comes in and says, it's not looking good. And not 10 minutes later, it happened. So unfortunately, she did pass. She's in a better place. She's not suffering anymore. She's had a hard go of it the last few years for sure. So she was ready to go for sure. She's not suffering anymore. So that's a positive way to look at it. But my wife was extremely close with her grandmother, probably even more so than either of her parents. I know how that feels, and so it's tough on her. Being that it happened yesterday afternoon, we got the funeral arrangements and stuff. The funeral and stuff's going to be on Thursday, so I'm going to be hitting the road late Wednesday. I will not be in the office at all on Thursday. We will still have plays, saying that there is something worth investing in. But if you email me, or I will not be available by phone at all on Thursday. Not text, not call, under no circumstances. I need to be there for her and family, but I will be working through the night on Wednesday night and through the morning to ensure that we get the investments out. And then if you email in, you will either get a response from my assistant if it's something that she can answer, or if it's directed at me and you need me to answer. Just be prepared that on Thursday it could be late Thursday night or even early Friday morning before I get back to you, because once I get done with everything on Thursday, it'll be Thursday evening before I start traveling back. So just keep that in mind. We've got a few days, but I've got a lot to get done between now and then to ensure that I can coordinate everything. And hopefully, if the testing goes right over the next 2 days, we'll be able to release some of the new features before Thursday that you guys will get to take advantage of. Free stuff. You guys will enjoy it. Let's get on a free play. Let's do some Monday Night Football action. 2 games going now that they moved the Patriots-Kansas City game, which I am looking at both the side and the total in that one. Haven't made a decision on either one yet, but that was a game that I almost locked in early, but I don't know why. I just felt that I wanted to lock it in early, but I didn't. And then, of course, the second they announced Cam Newton had COVID, and that line shot up, I backed off just to see what would happen. I honestly didn't think this game would happen this week, but it's going to happen on Monday night. I'm still looking at that one. But for right now, the Falcons and the Green Bay Packers. According to Mr. McClure, a writer that does all in-house writing for the Falcons, somebody that I've reached out to, Julio Jones is probably going to play. He's still questionable in a game-time decision, but he did do a light limited practice all week. He was there in attendance, and according to him and what he's seen, unless something happens pre-game and it's a setback, there's no reason why Julio Jones should not be in the game. And being that they are playing at Lambeau against a high-powered offense like Green Bay's really lacked in the run department this year because they're somewhat predictable to good defenses. But look at what Green Bay's been able to do through the air. Aaron Rodgers has just come out in a pissed-off mood, and he's showing it by putting points on the board. He's finding people all over the field. He's using multiple targets, and we know Atlanta's defense is not going to stop Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field from getting in the end zone, period. And like I told you guys at the beginning of the season, despite what Atlanta's record is, despite the fact how they've given up these big leads in the fourth quarter 2 weeks in a row and lost, that's still one of the better offenses in the National Football League. Matt Ryan, who I do not like, I think that he's a lazy quarterback, and I think that he makes very poor decisions under pressure. He still can sling the damn ball. Now that they've got Gurley back home where he belongs, somebody that can run, I mean, he's the best back in the league. Let's face it. Then you've got Julio Jones, which is one of the best targets to have downfield shy of DeAndre Hopkins. And Matt Ryan has also figured out how to utilize his tight ends the proper way for more than a 3 yard pickup. And Green Bay's defense isn't anything to write home about. I'm sorry. I don't know of any defense in the National Football League, even a Bill Belichick defense, that's going to prevent Atlanta from scoring, that's going to prevent Atlanta from having big offensive plays that allow them to not only score, but score quickly at a very fast pace. Now, I'm not saying that means they're going to score one touchdown after the other, but they can go out there and have one drive that takes 6-7 minutes off the clock, and then the very next drive they could take 6 seconds off the clock and be right back in the end zone. If Jones plays and they're not holding him back for any reason, I see him going for at least 2 touchdown catches. I think Gurley rushes for a touchdown, and I think we see an unlikely tight end target get a touchdown. If Julio Jones was not going to play or was not expected to play, I may back off this game altogether. But being that everything's pointing to him playing, I just think that we'd be stupid not to play this game. Aaron Rodgers, nobody's going to stop him from finding somebody in the end zone, period. Not any team on any given day. It's Aaron freaking Rodgers. The same can be said for the Atlanta Falcons offense as a whole. I don't care if you like Dan Quinn. I don't care if you like the Falcons. I don't care if you think they're a joke. At least they're not Philadelphia. At least, I won't even get into that. They're a high-powered, very fast-paced, very talented offense. And we've got 2 teams that are below average defenders. And plus, you're going to have a 60-something degree day. It's going to be down about 48 degrees about midway through this game. No wind, no rain. So it's not going to be cold where they're going to be, not able to run. By the time it gets down to that temperature, these guys will be warmed up. And when you're sitting at almost 50 degrees, that's not even really football weather. They'll be fine. Weather won't affect them. And with a total of 56.5, and I see a couple of 56s out there. If you can get 56, God bless you. But 56.5 is what I'm going to give you because that's what I wager and that's what William Hill has. I'm taking over 56.5 as I just can't see a world where Aaron Rodgers doesn't have his team put up half this total by themselves very easily. And it's very hard to imagine a world where you have Julio Jones and Todd Gurley on the same field and not at least 3 touchdowns. The total is just too low. I get why the total is what it is. Lambeau Field at night, prime time. The Falcons are somewhat a train wreck. I get it. We don't need them to play good. We don't need them to prevent people from doing stuff. We need them to do what we know they can do and do well, which is score. And Aaron Rodgers can do what he does best, which is be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. 56.5 with Julio Jones in is just too low. If he plays, I've got this total at 61.5. I'm taking over. And that is your premium free play for Monday. Make sure you jump on the NFL season. 23-5-2. Win-loss record at 82% for the season. And we are not slowing down anytime soon. If you want to get more bang for your buck, you can get the All Access Pass, which will give you the entire NFL season, the entire college football season, every sport, every play, every game of the week, game of the month, game of the year, everything, NASCAR, all of it for one full year. Or you can go get the NFL season if you want. Join in. The MLB playoffs kick back off this week on Monday with 2 games in the American League. National League starts on Tuesday. All of the NLDS and ALDS series are this week. And the best of 5 series, so it's going to be a big week of baseball as always, and we will also probably have more NBA action. First game back is on Tuesday, so it's going to be a very big week. Do not miss out. And if the 2 games that I'm looking at pan out, lines come out the way that I want them to, player information comes out the way that I want to, we could have 2 huge top plays this week in 2 different sports. One would be a game of the month or potential game of the year, and another game of the week. So make sure if you're an all-access client, you already get those. If not, you can purchase them if we have them. And let's go have a big week. 6-1-1 Sunday, 82% in the NFL, 23-5. Can't beat it. Love you guys. Atlanta Falcons, Green Bay Packers, over 56.5 points. That's your free play, and I'll see you back for Tuesday.